ladies and gentlemen, in this video you will need 100% fabric, scissors, and a measuring tape. Now in this video I'm going to show you guys how to make a rice bag, or other people will think of it as a heating thing. Now the first thing you want to do is measure the width of it. I usually use 6 inches, but you guys can use whatever you want. So once you get it all figured out, you want to measure it. Let me figure this out really fast. Okay guys, what you want to do is measure the width of it. The width of mine is about 6 inches long, but you guys can make it however wide you want. I use 6 inches because it has a good width. Now what you want to do is measure your length. I usually use about 11 inches because to me that seems like it'd be right. You guys can use what you want. You can use 20 inches because that can make them really long and it just makes them a lot better. So what you want to do is when you measure that, make a little slit so you know where to cut. Now once you get that, you want to start cutting. Make sure you cut in a straight line, because when you cut it in a straight line, it just makes it a lot easier to sew, because you don't have to go back and forth and make it all, awesome. So when I cut it, I'm trying to make it as straight as possible, but I mess up a little bit. If you can notice, if you watch me cut, I mess up a tiny bit. And once I get it to the length I want, I get over, well, let me finish cutting this. Once I get it to the 11 inches where I want it, I go over to where I measured the width, and I cut that. Excuse me while I cut this. I am cutting it. Cutting it is what I'm doing. So once I get it cut, I'm going to want to make sure it's all straight, which I already did. It's not all straight because I kind of, messed up a little bit, but you want to put the fabric to the side and fold up the rest of your fabric so you don't lose it and stuff. Once you get it folded up, put it off to the side. And then I grab my fabric, and you want to fold it inside out so the picture side isn't showing. You want to make sure it's even. As you see here, I keep messing up, so it's not all even. It's not even yet. But once you get it even, you want to take. Usually you want some bobby pins, but you don't have to. Like, if you look at my pins, I take them and I pin the top 2 sides, because that will hold it so it's all even and it stays right, so you don't mess up when you sew it, because if you mess up when you sew it, it's just going to look bad. So here I am pinning all this. Try to get that pin out. Okay, I got it out. I am pinning this, and the reason I'm doing this is, like I said, to make it straight. That's what you want it to look like at that point. Okay, so put your pins there. And then you want to get your sewing machine and you want to move it out into view. And turn the light on so you can see it. And then you want to take and put the footer of your sewing machine. Excuse me. Make sure the camera is good where the sewing machine is. So you want to make sure that the top of the rice bag where it's open, you don't want to sew that shut, but you want to make sure the footer is right there, so the needle is at the very top. And usually you're supposed to backstitch at the top, but I don't do that because it's not really important to me. So it doesn't really mess it up. So what you want to do is you want to start out slow. If you want to, you can increase your speed. I usually increase my speed because I get really impatient. You want to make sure the edge of the footer is on the edge of the fabric, because once you do that, then you'll make it spaced evenly. And then when you get to the bottom, as you'll see, I get here in a second. When you get to the bottom, you want to go slow to make sure that the needle is there. And then once you get at the bottom, you want to lift your footer up, turn your fabric so you can sew the bottom part. And then you do the same thing with the bottom. See, I'm increasing my speed so I can, mostly because my patience runs a little thin with these, but I love making them. Once you get there, you want to make sure it's right. Lift up, put the needle down, lift your footer up, and then sew the other side. You do not want to sew the top, because if you sew the top, then really, it's just not a good thing. So don't sew the top, because that's where you put your rice in, and that's where you have to fold it out at. I am sewing this, and as you see, I really wasn't, if you look at the other edge, I wasn't close to the edge as I should be, because, I don't know, I just kind of messed up there. You want to pull it out, grab your scissors, wherever I put them, there they are, and you want to cut the thread close to the 100% cotton bag that you're making, And then you want to take your pins out, and then make sure all the thread is trimmed up nice. You get that all, and then then once you get that done, you want to take the bag and fold it inside out. This is the way I do it. Other people may do it a different way, but that's how I do it. Put your hand in there and make sure that it's all the corners are poked out. Usually if you make them too thin, you have to use like a shish kebab skewer thing to get it. So once you get that, everything, that's what you should have right now. Push your sewing machine aside and grab your rice. See, I have a tote of rice that I use. And usually you can use like a funnel, but I made my bag wide enough that I don't need a funnel. So grab your rice with your cup, grab your rice bag, open it up, and pour your rice in it. Usually you fill the bag up halfway, because then once you fold it over and sew it, it's about even with the bag, so it warms up pretty good. Filling the bag up. You want to make sure, you have to make sure that it's halfway full. Okay? That's a very important thing with rice. You don't want to fill it all the way, because then you're just going to mess up, and it's going to be bad, guys. So we get it folded up. And then, once you make sure it's all good, okay? I'm good. So then, you take and put your lid back on your rice, and then you put your rice out. And then, usually, if you want, because I close mine a different way than you're supposed to. Usually you're supposed to fold it in and close it, and then use your pins to hold it, but I just take mine and I put the top so they're even, and then I sew across the top, as you'll see once I get this all ready. See here, I sew across the top of this. Let me get it all ready. Okay, put your footer down. Make sure the needle's in the fabric before you start sewing. That's an important thing you want to do. And if you want, you can backstitch at the beginning, so it's all good, okay? So once you get it there, you want to sew across the top, as you watch me do this. And then once you get there, you want to backstitch at the end to make sure the thread's not going to come undone. Lift your footer up, take your ice bag out, and cut your thread. Remember, close to the fabric, so you don't waste the thread. So you get that cut, and then you trim up your thread, so you know it doesn't look bad. And if you notice, I messed up closing it because I didn't make sure they were even, and there's a gap in the back. See if you notice, there's a gap. So then what I do is I fold it over, because like if you fold it over and you still sew it, then it'll be closed. And here I am trying to fold over to make sure that the gap is, you know, doesn't look bad. So once you get it folded over, you put it under your needle like you normally do. Close the footer, as you'll watch me do in a second. Okay. Close your footer to hold it there. And then bring your needle down to the fabric. I'm trying to fix it so it looks not too bad. And you want to bring your needle down to the fabric and then sew across, because this way it's double stitched. Stupid airplane. This way it's double stitched, so it's like double holding. And then once you get that done, you want to back stitch, bring your footer up, and then cut the thread close to the fabric, and then trim your thread up, as I'm doing right here. You probably can't see because I'm off camera because I'm a stupid idiot. But I am trimming the thread up. Here I am again. Here I'm doing it more. Yep. Here I am. I'm trimming it up. Push your